Hi guys, how were you? How was everyone with yesterday, day 7? Today we are already on day 8 of the Cricket's 20 Days of Games, which is amazing. So today I really wanted to hop in and talk to you guys about what is really a reinforcer for your dog. Not mine, not everyone else's, your dog. What is reinforcing for your dog is going to vary. Okay, both of my dogs are fairly chase driven, so yeah, I can use that. That's a reinforcer for them. Some dogs love to sniff. I know so many of them. That's a reinforcer. Your dogs can have multiple reinforcers, and really what you want to start doing is using those natural reinforcers to your advantage. So it's not just fighting your dog to get them to stop sniffing, it's actually using the sniffing to reinforce the behaviors you like. Things like that. So what I want you guys to do today is experiment and think, what do my dogs love to do naturally? If I were to just, I don't suggest you do it, but if you were to just take your dog in a new random field, unclip them and just be like, okay, I'm not here, what are they gonna do? If something pops up, if a bunny runs around, what are they gonna do? Do they actually like to chase it? Do they really don't care about it? Do they like to hurt things? Do they like to, like I said, to sniff, to chase, to tug? Are they food hounds? Do they love food? If maybe they love certain types of food. Okay. So I want you guys to explore, find what is reinforcing for your dog, and find different ways that you can use it to help you in your training. Polka lately has discovered that she loves plushy toys. She doesn't destroy them, but you can see this one's a bit dirty. It's a carrot cake. Yes, it's a carrot cake. But she loves it. And that's just a new thing for her that she just discovered. Wait, I actually love it. She'll take it and she likes to carry it around. She never used to, but now with plushy toys, she just loves to carry them everywhere and bring them to everyone. Sure, carrying is something else that is reinforcing for her. The other thing, like I said, that she loves to chase. She loves to chase me. She loves to chase toys. She loves to chase wild animals too, which sometimes I'll let her chase birds on cue, not for free. Sometimes the other thing she discovered not long ago, she loves to tug, which is completely fine with me. I love her for loving to tug, and she'll actually she'll play growl in it, which is amazing for her because she never used to do that. She is also a real foodie. If you've met her, you'll see her. She'll come up to you and she'll poke you where your food is to make sure that she reminds you where the food is, as if you didn't know. So food is a big reinforcer for her too. In that way, I've trained her. I'm very proud of her because she is a fairly balanced dog for reinforcers. I can use pretty much anything and she'll find it reinforcing. It's not the case for everyone. Okay. So what I want you to do with it, like I said, think about what your dogs actually love. What do they love to do naturally? How can you use it to boost your training, to bring your training way up, just because you're using your natural reinforcers? The key to it is to have a variety of stuff. Just like with humans, if you always do the same thing over and over and over again, it gets boring. Think of nature. Why is it so interesting for your dogs? Because they offer a variety of reinforcements that are always different. It's not the same again and again and again, and that's why they love it and they keep going back to it. So you have to be more fun, you have to be sexier, you have to be more interesting, and you have to have a bigger variety of stuff than nature. I'm going to send you guys in my basement, and I'll show to you everything I have toy-wise. You're not limited to that at all. That's just the selection of what I have, and I'll explain to you why I have them, why I use them, for what I use them. And it might give you some ideas of what's useful and what's not for your personal dog, for your individual dog. So I'll see you guys in a minute in the basement. Hi Hi everyone, welcome back in my basement. I wanted to send you guys here to talk a little bit about toys, toy choices, the toys I use, the toys I have. By no means are these ones all the ones I have, nor all the ones out there. You have a lot of options, and really, depending on what you're looking for and what you're doing with your dog, you should, in theory, you should be able to change which toy you're using. What you've probably noticed is that for a lot of them, I have them in pairs, or I have two of them, or two that are very similar. Okay, and there's a reason behind it, and we'll get to it. So, some of them have very specific uses. So, like these three. So these two obviously are for dog diving when I'm throwing them. This one, it's a practice one for when I'm doing grab with Polka. So I'll only take them out when I do dock. If not, they're like never out. Because for her, when I take them out, it means she knows immediately what I'm doing and what we're going to do. She is currently behind me, staring me down, wondering why the hell all of our toys are out there and she's not getting any of them. So those are dock diving toys. I have the two plushies here. They do have a squeaker. Those ones are fairly free for her to use, so they're pretty much always out there for her to chew on, throw around, play with me if she wants to, because she's at a point where she will bring me the toy if I ask her. That's why I leave the toys, those ones out there. The other ones I tend not to because I want them to have a specific meaning and that we're doing stuff. These ones are frisbees. She loves frisbee. These ones are made of tissue and are flexible. I can fold them very small if I have to move them around. And she can tug on them. They're made to be solid enough for that. So she loves to chase them and catch them for that. She also loves to use a good old deflated soccer ball. Same type of idea. I kind of flatten it like this so that it's pretty much like a frisbee, and then I throw it. Then I have holy rollers. I do sometimes use them for enrichment, but I do love them when I'm doing agility because she is toy driven. You guys don't see me using it often, but I do love them simply because if they're coming and they're running, she doesn't have to stop to be able to grab it, and it's not something like that's flat to the ground. Like the frisbee is completely flat, so it's hard for her to grab. While something like the holy roller, it's pretty easy. It's a good level that she just comes down and grabs it on the way by. So I like it for that. The ropes, I do have two of them. This one used to be attached to something else, but she broke it off, which is fine, really. But I do love ropes for dogs that don't have a retrieve. Okay, simply because, and I really love this one because it's really long. It does spread even longer. But if your dog doesn't have a retrieve, when you're training, I'm going to use agility for this because it works well for examples. When you're trying to train agility, if every time you want to reward them, you have to pass like 5-10 minutes trying to get that toy back, it's a very, very long time and you're losing a lot of time. So when you're using something like a rope, you always have a hand on it, so they can't really run away with it. Okay, so that's what I use when I don't have a good retrieve with my dogs. I started with it, and I would get her to retrieve the part that she had in her mouth in my hand while I was still holding the other end. That's how when I moved from a pen to a toy, that's the first toy I used. Then I have sheepskins, two different ones from different companies. This one has a bungee. I'm not a fan of bungees. Some people love it. This one doesn't. And really, same type of idea as with the ropes. They let you keep a hold of it while your dog's tugging on the other end. So they're good for that. They are a little bit shorter, which is fine for some exercise. And you can, because they are shorter, they are easier to throw also. So even if your dog does have a fairly good retrieve, it does give you the chance to throw it, get your dog back and still have a spot to really hold it. Then we have that one. My dogs are not big fans of it, but for dogs that love to hunt, like Cocker Spaniels, for example, that don't tend to be chasey but do love something else, they tend to love things that move around a lot, that have a lot of movement in it. So that's a good toy for these type of dogs. I also had a puppy in one of my class. I'm pretty sure he was a golden doodle. He was in love with that toy. He was crazy obsessed about it. Okay, just because of all the small movements. While dogs, both of mine, that are more chase driven, I do like something like this. It's called a chaser tug. I need to brush them out. But really what that lets you do, one, kind of like the rope, it lets you hold it while your dog is tugging on the other end. But it also starts that chase instinct. So let's say you're rewarding them, you can let it drag and pull. They will chase it and grab it. Or it lets you hold it like this, and it's pretty easy for them to grab it too. So you have some options. I have two of them on a lot of them simply because then I can switch from one toy to the other. Toy switch. One of the game that might or might not be coming your way. You'll see. The last toy I have with me, it's more for foodie dogs, which both of my dogs are. It's called the Clam. Some people have the Con Lotus Ball, I believe. I prefer the Clam because there's more Velcro and it tends to hold a lot more. So really what it is, I put some food in the middle, close it with the Velcro. It's strong enough that if I throw it, the food doesn't go out, yet my dog is able to come in and open it. She tends to have, give me a second. She tends to have a foot on both sides and then just push with her nose until it opens. So what that lets you do is for dogs that prefer food and are not interested in the toys at all, you can still throw the food forward. Okay. You can still build a retrieve with it. You can still reward in front of you instead of rewarding at you. Build some forward drive, build some independence. So I really, really like it for that. And Polka, in new environment, she doesn't tend to play, but she will take food. So if I need to reward her in new environments, I do usually use the Clam more than my other toys. But if it's in a known environment, or eventually if she starts to relax enough in the new environment that she can actually play, then I'll use the soccer ball or the holy rollers or the chaser tugs, depending on what I have that day. Okay. That's on the toys I have. That's why I have them. That's how I use them. You're free to do whatever you want with them, really. You can change how you use them. You might think of a different way to use them that suits your needs better, and that's okay. But that's your toys. I'm gonna send you back in the hall to finish on today's video. So that's all the toys I have, or at least most of them. That's why I use them. I hope it gave you a little bit of ideas of what you can do. Now I want you guys to go out there, to play with your dog, and to find what they really like to do. Do they like to carry stuff? Do they like to tug? Do they like to chase? Do they like to sniff? Do they like to eat? Do they like to swim? You can use swimming, maybe not right now because it's in the winter time, but in the summertime, do they love to swim? Do they love to jump? Do they love to roll? Really, do they? And some behaviors like middle can become something that they love to do. Do they love to recall? I want you to find what your dog loves. Try to have at least 3 different things that are not all related. So don't have like 3 food rewards, don't have 3 toy rewards. Try to have a variety. And try, if possible, to have one that doesn't include toys or food. So that you can find whenever you're outside walking and you don't have any more food and you don't have any toys with you, what can you still use to reinforce your dog? I want you guys to think about it. I want you guys to write what you have found in the comments. I want to see that. And if possible, play some games with it. Try to see how you can incorporate it in your training and see how it works. Okay? That's it for day 8. What reinforces your dog? And I will see you tomorrow.